everyone, welcome to Discover the OC. I'm Jules Wilson, your host and lifestyle realtor here at Seven Gables Real Estate. Listen, I'm always working hard to educate you, bring value, entertain a little bit, but at the end of the day, make your lives better. So today I'm with Dr. Ara, Sayabalian, and I've had Dr. Ara on before, but I wanted to bring him back again today because Dr. Ara, you have a passion really for, talk about making lives better, helping older people's lives better, right? So tell us what's on your mind today.
So, as you know, I'm a doctor of incontinence education. I work for a company called Secure Clinical Solutions, and that gives me the opportunity to go into a lot of senior living communities.
Right.
Assisted living communities, memory care, independent living, and allows me to talk to a lot of the residents. And I'm here today because I wanted to share with the viewers opportunities to be educated. So, I get a lot of questions about move-ins, what's involved with that, the process, and my personal journey, as I was sharing with you earlier today, was my neighbor just moved into an assisted living community.
Right.
And she's an amazing person, and I saw a lot of questions that came up during this process. And there's a lot of noise out there. There is a lot of content out there about what do you do to move into a senior living community? What's involved? But I thought might as well kind of ask you, right?
Right.
As an expert on what's really involved.
Yeah. Well, I think what you're probably talking about if someone has a home they need to sell, right? I mean, that's the biggest thing. So number one most important thing I always believe in is get educated, right? And the best way to do that is kind of forecasting if you know you might want to be going to senior living. All right. Real estate is most people's biggest asset, truly, right?
Yep.
So when it comes to selling your home, I would say it's never too early to start thinking, but work with a realtor who is obviously ethical. That's the number one most important thing, but also educated and has resources. As realtors, I think we really need to be kind of like a concierge kind of service, like a handyman, you know, an estate planning company, an estate company where they come and have the estate sale or whatever it might be. But I always encourage people, unless you have a family member you really trust or a realtor you've worked with and known for several years, have 3 realtors come out, say, for example, a couple to get your opinion. Because the mistake can be made where someone might have had their house for 50 years, they bought it for $50,000, now they think, oh my God, if I get $500,000, I'm getting a lot of money when it's really worth $2 million. You know what I mean? So get educated by having a realtor come up first, more than one, and get that confidence, but also build a relationship. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And sometimes you need to sell your house quickly, like, oh, wow. A senior living community might say, oh, you've been on the waiting list. It just came open today, right? You don't have a whole lot of time. So you know if you have that resource on that realtor, they can get the handyman in there to maybe make a couple repairs, do a little painting, curb appeal. But that's why it really also helps to keep your house maintained. Because I remember my grandmother got a call one day. You know what I'm talking about. Sometimes there's a waiting list. She had to commit that day. If she needed to spend 6 months to get her house ready, that would have been problematic and also could have been a financial problem for her.
So there's a couple of things that I'm hearing here. Number one is true partnership.
Right.
And the parallel to that are some of the senior living communities that I work with, and they have the partners to allow those residents to thrive.
Right.
They have the physical therapy. They have the culinary partners. They have the activities where residents can thrive. And the parallel to that is working with an agent, like you said, that has all of these individuals that they can call upon for listing the house.
Right.
But sometimes things are done very quickly for assisted living or memory care.
Right.
The last thing I think that a senior wants is to have a fire sale.
That's right.
On their biggest asset.
Oh no, that makes me so sad if I hear of that. Yeah.
So one thing that is going on in my mind is take your time and kind of plan ahead.
Right. Exactly.
Just because you're talking to individuals, just because you're talking to assisted living communities or real estate agents or estate planners, doesn't mean that's going to happen tomorrow.
That's right.
But it's good to have a long runway.
Yes. Yeah.
If that makes sense, right?
Right.
To have a long runway so that should the time comes, it's this almost organic process.
Yeah. Yes. Right. You know what I equate that to? So when my grandma went to senior living, she was 91, and I said, Grandma, I have an idea for you. It's all about mindset. right?
It's all
I said,
about mindset.
instead of being 91, why don't you flip the numbers and say you're 19 and you're
love it.
going away to college? This is a new adventure. They have like they have wine nights and workout rooms and cars that'll take you out to different places. It really can be looked at as college, but you don't show up on campus the first day without applying. Think about it. People that go to college apply
Great
a year in
analogy.
advance, right? So that's why I say keep your house in good shape so that you don't have to have a fire sale because you haven't repaired anything in 20 years. And it costs less money if you keep things maintained along the way. So keep things maintained along the way. Keep your yard in good condition. If you need a little painting here and there, if you need some, and I have a fantastic handyman that I use a lot in addition to general contractors. It's having the resources. So you need a realtor who has those resources. So once again, just like a good plan to get you to the university you want to go to, do we need to talk about Harvard right now real quick? We know you want to
Always, always willing to talk about Harvard or Huntington Beach.
Right. So you didn't get into Harvard by not applying. That took
Correct.
And you had to have
Excellent
good.
analogy.
You had to have good grades to get into Harvard. So really, that probably started in high school. So you started several years in advance to get yourself to Harvard. Seniors should start several years in advance to get keep their house ready, come up with a plan, have a relationship with a great realtor, Jules Wilson, Seven Gables Real Estate. You know, just joking, that sort of thing.
That's absolutely. So I'm thinking through my family, okay, and looking at some of the houses that haven't been kept up because the individual has aged. And I'm thinking if they just took care of their yard a little better, it's not such a big investment because right now their yard's out of control.
Right. Just little maintenance along the way. Yep. Yep.
Have you ever had the opportunity for a senior who's moving to a community or selling their house, maybe downsizing to another house,
right?
An individual even, have they ever expressed any of the emotions that they're going through? I'm curious to find that if you were able to kind of take your relationship with them to another level and see what their mindset is as far as emotions go.
Yes, that's where I came up with a 91 versus a 19 analogy. Because so many people think, oh my God, if I go to a retirement home, you know, my life's over, whatever. Listen, whether you're 60, 70, 90, or 100, it's just a stage of life. You can be your best at any age. And the retirement homes now that I've seen are really like going away to college.
Yeah, they are.
I mean, they're nice.
That's
Sometimes
true.
They're nicer than the homes that people are leaving. So really, I mean,
absolutely,
they're like new when and retirement communities can't get by just doing nothing anymore. Like I said, they have the wine nights, they have the yoga, the activity, the dance classes, the card, whatever. So oftentimes going to a assisted living community can many times be better than where you were. So I call it like going to college. It's like you're going to guess what, you got it at college, but you got in the best dorm.
Yeah,
you know what I'm trying to say?
And I'm going to add a layer on top. When you were saying that, there's a senior living community that I recently visited. They have a bowling alley.
Well, okay, see what I mean? That's crazy.
And think about the memories that you can share enjoying a birthday, an anniversary, a grandchild's birthday at the bowling alley. So what they're doing is they're encouraging family activities, allowing those grandchildren to visit grandma or grandpa.
And energy breeds energy. Do you know what I mean?
Energy breeds energy.
Yeah.
And to add on top of the fact of, moving into a senior living community, it's time to thrive.
Yes, of course it is.
Because I have seen seniors inside their homes, and there's a slow decline.
Yeah.
They have to take care of the bills, they have to take care of the water faucet leaking, the yard. You don't have to deal with any of that. And as we're seeing, all the activities and the support, whether it's occupational therapy, physical therapy, the different programming, the incontinence programming, the hydration programming, all of these programs are created to allow that resident to thrive.
Yes, of course.
So often when they're living in a large home, there is that decline.
Of course. Well, I have to add something to that, Ara, because I think many people think they're declining because they're getting older and they live alone. I don't necessarily think that's true. I think some's physical, a lot of it's mental, emotional. I think you might decline because, listen, now you can live alone as long as you're involved in life. A lot of people live alone involved in life. But if you're an older person and you're alone and a lot of your friends are dying, God bless them, and you don't have visitors and you don't have family around, anyone can decline. I don't care what your age is, because we are meant to be around people and be involved, right? So I would say to the seniors out there, don't necessarily think it's you, it's a lack of stimulation. Wouldn't you say, Dr. Ara?
100% agree. So when I'm looking at an individual's life, I'm looking at three components. I'm looking at the physical, I'm looking at the mental health, and I'm looking at the emotional health. Physical health is what a lot of us love to talk about.
Right.
My back, my shoulder, my cholesterol, my triglycerides, etc. Right? But rarely does somebody talk about their mental health.
Yeah, that's so true.
Rarely do they talk about the loneliness and the isolation that they go through inside of a home.
Yeah, that's true.
And what you're talking about is 100% true, where they're not talking about how lonely and isolated they are, but that is a completely different approach in a senior living community.
Yes.
Now you're around people.
Yep.
There's action.
Yeah.
There's camaraderie.
Right.
There's peers.
Yeah.
There's wine night that you can enjoy a glass of wine with your peers and your newfound friends.
Yes, that's right. And the bowling alley. Don't forget that part.
And the
That cracks me up.
and the bowling alley.
Yeah.
So point is that with a holistic approach to health, right?
Yep.
You're right. You are declining maybe in a home because you're alone. There's a lot of things that you're basically having to take care of that, frankly, you just don't want to take care of anymore.
Right.
You've been there, done that.
And the brain's not stimulated.
And the brain's not
And the
stimulated.
heart's not stimulated. You know what I
Correct.
mean? I could go
Absolutely.
down the SS depression faster than anybody, let me tell you. I'm just joking. But unless you have people and you're engaged and you have goals, you can also go to a retirement community and decide to take up yoga. You've never done that before, or take a salsa, and now you have a goal. I need to go to that class every Monday and Wednesday from 3 to 4, or whatever, right? We need goals. I don't care how old you are, you need purpose. Everybody needs a purpose, right?
Everybody needs a purpose in life, regardless of what that is.
Right.
You know, and by being stimulated, you're achieving that stimulation, that emotional and mental health stimulation. And oftentimes, I believe a lot in psychosomatic effects, and basically what that means is when the mind starts to think that you're sick, it will manifest
100% agree.
physically.
Oh, God,
right?
yeah, 100%
When the
agree.
mind starts talking about, oh my God, I think I'm getting sick, I think I'm
Yeah.
getting more pain in my foot, I think I'm getting more back pain, guess what?
Yeah.
Next day,
Yeah,
you're going to have that pain.
For sure. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Well, I know you are also a professor at USC, right?
I am. I'm an adjunct lecturer.
Yeah, I think that's so cool. But you have a lot of resources online, don't you, Dr. Ara?
I do.
Where can people go to learn more about the gifts that you're sharing? Because you are so passionate about, I know, elder incontinence and all that. That's a little snippet of you. You know, you
It
do.
is.
So why don't you tell people where they can go to look at what you're doing?
If you want to look at what I'm doing, you can look me up at LinkedIn at Ara Sayabalian. And you can also go to tim-care.com to learn more about the programming that we have specifically for assisted living, memory care, individuals that are looking to thrive.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Likewise.